Hello, hello, hi. The piece of bread scared me. You remind me of Wally. He's also terrified of everything. Don't think I'm good with horror. The fact that you can get scared when it comes to horror movies and stuff probably means you are enjoying it or experiencing it in ways, in quotes, fans of it probably don't. Maybe they like being scared and are just desensitized to it. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of horror myself, truth be told. I find that horror movies are mostly just silence followed by loud music as something jumps at you suddenly. I don't consider jump scares as, being scared in quotes. And I think a lot of horror movies these days can't really tell the difference. There's no suspense, there's no build up, there's no fear. It's just you're watching and then suddenly blam, something on screen. You jump back like this and they go, "Ha, scared you." And then that's it. No creepy story. Yeah, no creepy story and yeah. Ow. See, that's not scary. There's a difference between being scared and being startled. I don't think somewhere along the way people lost sight of that, and that's a shame. Are you playing a game? Because that's what I imagine is going on. But yeah, how have you guys been? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in like forever, even though I just streamed like a couple days ago. Mainly because I think I spend a lot of time just like setting things up. Yeah, isn't it like 5 a.m. for you, Feather? What are you doing up? Made me die because I talked too long? Well, that's a shame. I woke up 2, 3 hours ago. Hmm. Because I streamed yesterday exhausted me, so I went to bed right after. Ah, is it a case where you went to bed super early? That's why you're up early? It happens. Anyway, we're back at this model again. Oh, okay. I haven't slept. Sleep is very important. It's one of those things that most people neglect. And anyone can just point and be like, yeah, sleep is important, and you just shrug and be like, yeah, whatever. To be fair, well, to your sleep is important with someone. Okay, it is not to do with sleep. The eye bags exist because I have just always had them. I have gotten like 7 to 8 hours of sleep for the past 15 years that I can recall. I still have eye bags. I had like those little. I tried sleeping with a mask. I tried putting the little cooling mask on them. Tried sleeping more than I probably should have. Nothing gets rid of them. Yeah. Sleep for 12 hours a lot. I think that might be a bit too much. But then again, everyone is different. There are some people who they just naturally require less sleep and they're like fine. I think mostly just whatever you are comfortable with and so long as you don't suffer, you're fine. Cuz yeah, if I never use alarms and if I wake up naturally, I always sleep 6 to 7 hours ish. Maybe a little more if I'm interrupted, cats being annoying and stuff. Ooh, I want to show off what I was doing. So, what's it called? Look at my progress. Look at this. It blinks. Huh? For some reason, my sleep cycle seems to naturally wake me up before then. Oh, yeah, I guess if your body is used to always being woken up at a certain time, it'll start to predict that. I think usually if I set alarms, I always wake up like 5 minutes before they go off. But that was a long time ago. Oh, maybe your body's just very good at judging time, you know? I think a problem that I have is simply that no matter what time I go to bed, I will always wake up early. Like, for example, if I usually wake up at 5, no matter if I suddenly sleep like 3 hours later, I will still wake up at 5, you know? Which really sucks because if you end up accidentally, if you're me and you stay up a little bit later than usual, you're probably gonna be a bit sleep deprived the next day. Some people are natural night owls. True. I don't think I'm one of them. I always wake up super early. Since I started streaming at night, I have been trying to change that so that, what's it called? I stay up a little late, but also wake up a little later. It's been like 2.5 months. I've only just started waking up about an hour later than I normally do. But I gotta try get some work done that's audio related, which sucks because I really need the stimulation of listening stuff. Understandable. Well, I'll be here if you ever need to unmute. Oh, I forgot to flip the eyes. Is now, yeah, this happens. Whoops. They're supposed to look at the same direction. Yeah, let me fix that. Apparently, old humans were in groups and had a sleep cycle to watch out for predators. Oh yeah, I heard about that. So basically, what it was that when some people are asleep, some people are just naturally awake. Yeah, so don't get like ganked. Like imagine everyone's in bed and then like a group of mountain lions show up, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. So yeah, I saw that. Also, this makes me laugh a bit too much. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't have just cloned the eye. The second cardboard cutout that jumped at made me visibly jump. I don't like jump scares. Unless it's like a unless you get jump scared by something that's not supposed to be, or it's just like a if it's a good horror game, you know. I think one that has like a good sense of unease is Repo, right? Vanilla Repo, not the modded to hell one. Because I really enjoyed this, especially at lower levels. The suspense of just like hiding and avoiding the monsters. I think that is super fun. It's not supposed to be scary, it's supposed to be cute. Then why are you getting scared of them? Hmm. This doesn't look right. I have no idea who the Jolly Green Rancher guy is. Sorry. Well, have fun with that. I'm not really sure what the game is like, but you seem to be having fun. I think I fixed the eyes. You know what? I have a better idea. Copy, paste. Name's apparently gel like Jolly Green Rancher better. You know what? I'm curious what the game is. I'm Googling this. Hmm. Never heard of it. I can't tell if it's really old or just like low budget. Okay, who knows? Maybe today we'll be a little bit productive. Going back to Cookie Clicker. Is that the game where you just like click on something? Game came out in 2014. Oh, okay. That explains it. Yeah, have 178 hours in Cookie Clicker. The real question is why? I would, okay, with my attention span, I would probably get through about 10 minutes of it. And then my brain would be like, okay, we need something else. Why not? I don't know. I mean, if you have fun, go for it. Who doesn't have 178 hours in Cookie Clicker? Well, I don't have 178 hours to spare, unfortunately. I have been trying to get more into playing games again, but I feel like I've just been a bit too busy. I would play Don't Starve Together, but I'm kind of getting a bit tired of it. I've survived like almost 400 days, almost done with all the bosses. So I'm like, there's nothing left for me. So yeah, I finished my long time show. I'm finishing up the game that I've been playing for ages. My life is starting to feel empty. What do I have left? It is a survival game, and yeah. While the art is kind of cute, there are some moments which make me panic. So if you scare easily, yeah, I can imagine. Hi, Julian. I get scared in Minecraft. Oh, you'll definitely get scared in this one then. They are monsters that chase you and try to like gank you. So yeah, the survival is a main part of the game, and everything there is trying to get in the way of that. I was yawning, but it just made me look surprised. I'll get corpse body soon though. Corpse body. That sounds familiar. Thinking my room's a bit warm. I miss my AC. Course party. What is that again? Nope, never seen it. Very wholesome game? Yeah, the posters that I saw on Google Images was just violence and gore. Trust? No, I don't trust you. You called it wholesome, but the images, Googling the name, was far from that. So I don't know what your game is, but I don't trust you. Or I never played it, but watched someone play it. Non wholesome? Yeah. My grammar sucks. Ooh, you know what's something I've been noticing a little bit recently? Regarding my grammar. I think I got very used to I got very used to like the style of English spoken in Malaysia, right? It's something I call Malaysian English. So when you're speaking in Malay, it's it has a lot less words compared to English. Kind of like Japanese if you're familiar. So usually when people in Malaysia would speak English, they would speak they would use Malaysian grammar, but they would just swap in English words, which means sometimes sentences are just randomly missing words, right? Uh, what's a good example of this? I can't think of any, but like just imagine you take a normal English sentence. Sorry, my brain just lagged. Imagine you take a normal English sentence and then you just drop like random words in the middle of it. And then, yeah. So I noticed a bad habit I have is sometimes I do that and not everyone immediately can understand what I'm saying, especially if English is not maybe their first language or, yeah. So I've been noticing that a little bit more lately. I notice I'm a little less yappy today. I think what happens is when I have full body models, I focus a bit too much on them. I get too locked in. Risen bad thing. Why does that sound like the kind of thing a person would say at a confessional booth? I mean, hey, your sins are your own. I'm not here to judge. You've read some very wholesome things. Well, you see, now those two things cancel out, and you can go scot free. Balance has been achieved. So yeah, you have nothing to worry about. One of the things I read make me shade the very end of it. Was the writing bad or just scary? Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. No scary, not bad. Why are you shaking then? Out of curiosity. Never heard of that. If you like reading, do you know what you should read? Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I always plug in my favorite author. Understandable. I'm not really much of a manga reader. I usually opt for the anime once it's released. Although I did read one manga for, I think it's called Miruko-chan, right? It's about that girl who can see the dead and all that stuff, and she has to pretend like she can't, so they don't bother her. I think that's like the only anime I remember reading. Thoughts on grapes? I like them. I do not like the seeds though. Seedless ones, amazing. I like the vine. I don't think that's very healthy. Other than us, I think we have a bit of a quiet chat today. It's a bit curious because usually that happens on Friday. You know what? I'm Googling this. Can you actually eat the grapevine? Okay, I'm seeing people eat the leaves as part of a recipe. I'm seeing Lebanese stuffed grape leaves. I don't think people actually eat the vine. My guide recommend would be My Divorced Crybaby Neighbor. I have too many crybaby friends already, so I don't think it would be my cup of tea. I just don't think manga is for me. If I'm reading something, I usually prefer what's it called? Like just the traditional books, like novels, etc. I don't really need pictures. I'm not a big fan of sad stories, especially ones described as traumatizing. I feel like the smile is uncanny. Let's try fix that. I would never recommend anyone the other two manga. Yeah, I can imagine. Ooh, you know what I watched the other day? We were talking about on stream. We were talking about weird anime, and one that was brought up was the Power Ranger one. I think it's called the Red Rangers an Adventure in Another World or some nonsense like that, right? So just for the lols, I watched the first 3 episodes, and it was a funny gimmick, but it got old very quickly. I don't think I'm gonna continue watching it. But yeah, it was just making fun of Power Rangers, because it's very showmany and very, again, it's a children's show, so a lot of like their action scenes and stuff is kind of weird to in quotes normal people. So the show was basically just everyone thinking how weird the guy was whenever you know, he transforms and does all of his poses. It was funny at first, but it got a bit stale. So the model you're making for this is a Vtuber model. So yeah, it's one of my commissions. Yeah. Hi, Hotchak. Welcome on in. They turned a dog into a gun somehow in Power Rangers. Isn't that kind of morbid? Hello, hello. How have you been? What have you been up to? I've been trying to get my unit to do his job. I understand your pain. I'm just glad I never have to go through it again. Invited to a few gather ups. Oh, that sounds fun. I think when I was in uni, the only events I really went to were just like club events that my friends were in. I got roped into like a few of the clubs, and even though like the club was the, for example, the something club, most of the times the activities that people hosted had nothing to do with like the theme of the club. It's just, oh, we're gonna have a bake sale, and then they just bake stuff. Oh, we're gonna have a movie night, and then they pick a movie that is, vaguely relevant to the theme of the club, but not really. Oh, but I remember, I think in my final, I think my final year or my second last year as well, I kind of just, I became antisocial cat, focused solely on like classes and stuff. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it was a tough time. I think, yeah, my last couple of years, my routine was just, I wake up, I do, I do my projects, I study for my tests, and then I go to bed. Ooh, there was a time where it got so bad that I would wake up, I wouldn't even get out of bed. I would just roll over, pick my laptop, which was underneath my bed, open it up, start doing my work. Like that's how that was the point it got to. I did have a super tough course. So yeah. To be fair, it feels like you met everyone you would want to be acquainted to. To be honest, yeah. When I first showed up at uni, I met like 1,000 people. And then eventually I solidified the few friendships that I wanted to keep. The rest I kind of lost touch with. Mm, and then like towards the end, I'd be hanging out with friends, or maybe I go out with some friends and they introduce me to new people. I smile politely, I say hi, make small talk, but in the end I'm just like, I have enough friends. And they seem okay, but yeah. I don't know if that's a mean thing to say, but I'm just like, they're okay, but nah. I think like by the end, I was one of those like how would you say this? I was basically like those disgruntled old people in retirement homes. They're just there in their blanket. They're like, I want my soup. Who are you? You know, this is my last time. I don't want to make new friends. Yeah, I know the feeling. I think in my last year, I only made like one new friend that I'm still friends with today. Oh yeah, and especially okay. I'll let you in on a little secret. Those people who are like friends with everyone, they have 1,000 acquaintances, not 1,000 friends. Cause I am friends with those people, right? Do you know what one of them? Here's a real encounter that happened the other day. So I was sitting with my friend, and she's social. See, she's a social butterfly, right? She knows basically everyone on campus, and I think it's like one of those like student ambassador, all of that stuff, right? So like everyone knows her, and she like always talks to everyone. Now one time we're sitting having lunch, and then like someone is approaching, they wave at her, she waves back excitedly smiling. She's doing the, you know how someone smiles and talks through their teeth, you know. I can't do that with my model. Hold on. You know, like how someone is smiling. I have this model, I can do that, and their teeth are kind of closed like that. You know, like how someone is smiling and talking through their teeth like this. So she was smiling and doing that. She's like, do you know that person? I'm like, no, I thought they were your friends. Like, yeah, they are, but I forgot their name. And then they approach. She's like, oh my god, hi. And then you know they hug, they start chatting and all of that stuff. And then she does a smart thing. She's like, oh hey, this is my friend Ordi, you know. And then she allows them to introduce themselves. And then she's like, and then when they introduce themselves, she's like, oh right, so that was their name. Oh, the awkward. Yeah, I think it was just the human mind, right, is just not designed to remember 1,000 people. So yeah. It was just like an acquaintance they met like one time, spoke for like 5 minutes, and then they're like, okay, see you around, bye bye. Yeah. That's basically 90%. Oh, sorry, like 95% of all the people who she talks to. She has like good friends, and then she has, which is a very small number of people. And then the rest are like acquaintances. I know 300 people in my unit, can name them all. She's probably like that too, but like that three person 301 was like the name that just slips out of their mind. Because for example, you could meet someone, talk to them for 5 minutes, and then you don't see them for like 2 months, and then they show up. Talk. Oh yeah, understand. I think like that's the way to go. Like, there's nothing wrong with having like 1,000 friendships, but it's just not realistic to have 1,000. Sorry, you can have like 1,000 acquaintances, but not like 1,000 friends. That's like insane. Don't even remember my cousin's name. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of the times when people have in quote, oh, sorry, when people have in quotes memory problems, it's usually not a problem with memory. A lot of the times it's attention, right? Like, oh, hi, Kay. Welcome back. Where was I? Right, right. Attention. So, for example, in my case, I never remember people's names, not because I have problems with memory, but usually if they introduce themselves to me, I'll be like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm probably not going to see this person again. I do this even subconsciously. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to see this person again. This is not useful information to store. And my brain just deletes it. And then eventually I do encounter them again. And then it becomes a bit strange. Yeah, I have like 1,000 cousins, but I think I only talk to like actually none of them now. I used to only talk to them when they would be on the phone with my mom, and then they're like, oh, come talk to your cousin, and then they just like shove the phone in my face. Yeah. Ooh, I want to show them something cool. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, here we are. This was drawn by Vani. She started streaming again because she stopped for a vacation, but she made this on stream. It was really cute. Which gave me the idea, what if I have a model that is like me, but just a cat? Like an actual purple cat. So yeah, while this was being drawn, I thought to myself, I couldn't make one for myself. Yeah, she was just doodling, and then this is what she came up with. It's super cute. Speaking of uni, there was one time, should I even tell this story? Maybe I should. There was one time I did crash out while living at like the student dorms, you know. I am normally a very calm cat. But this was a day where I had not eaten all day, so I was like super hangry and I had food that I kept in the fridge, in like the common kitchen, and someone took it. And like a lot of the times people's food goes missing and I decided, like, we have a group chat for like the floor, and I was very upset. I started asking about it. No one said anything. And in my crash out, I'm like, okay, they took my food. I'm going to take their kitchen. So all of the appliances in the back, like all of the rice cookers, ovens, electric stoves, everything, I just removed the plugs and I took them with me. And I was like, I demand justice for my food. It was me being very dramatic. And eventually, no one could use the kitchen until I got answers because I wanted to like check the CCTV for it. But they didn't want to bother, so I made it a problem until eventually they looked into it. And then the RA came and knocked on my door. He was very nice. He's just like, "Hey man, I know it like really sucks. I'll talk to these people. Can we have the stuff back?" I'm like, "Okay, fine." But yeah, uni stress and being hangry can make a person do crazy things. Should have made signs. They are signs. It's just everyone ignores it. By the way, student dorms. Horrible place, depending on where you are. But the ones that I was, we have an ad coming soon. I'm gonna really get into it after the ads. But yeah, nightmare experience, especially my uni. Yeah. I only stayed there for a few months. Eventually, like protest signs. Oh no, no one would have cared. And that's a lot of work, and I had stuff to do. I don't think I've ever had an apple that good. That made me laugh. Ooh, I do. Speaking of uni, I do have more stories. Those stories I'll tell after the ads. So juicy. I don't need gossip from the neighborhood grannies. My mom knows like everything, and then she tells it to me. I'm not really interested in what goes on, but she likes talking about it, so I just like humor her. Cause she'll be talking about like, oh, this cousin did this one did that, and I'm just like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have no idea who any of these people are. They're like, oh, it's this person. Yeah, I'd look blankly at her, and she realized I have no idea who they are. She's like, oh, it's this person. Oh, this one's son. Oh, this one's daughter. Or they're related to that person. I wouldn't know any of these names, but yeah. Okay, ads are done. Hey, hold on, I had a story to tell. Okay, so where do I begin? Should I even tell the story? Mm, because there was this time in my uni where there was this girl and she had like a full mental breakdown. Like police and ambulance were called levels of crashing out. I don't know what happened. All I do know is hold on, let me get water. All I do know is one day I go to the common room at my uni. It's like full of people, the usual stuff. And I just go sit down in my little corner on the cushions and I pull out my laptop. I start doing work. And that's when this random girl just comes and sits next to me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm very weird about my personal space. I do not like anyone coming close to me. And she kind of just like sat uncomfortably close. I had no idea who this person was. So I was just like, and completely ignored her. Continued doing my work, and then she just casually wrapped like her arm around mine. The way you'd see like couples do. Like someone is just sitting, and then maybe they like lock arms, and then they like lean over and like rest their head on the shoulder. She started doing that, and mind you, this is a complete stranger. Okay, one, complete stranger. Two, I do not like strange people. All right. Strangers make me uncomfortable. Three, I hate people being very close to me. Four, I hate people touching me. So she was all of the above. And I was very uncomfortable. I kind of just like froze up. And then, like a few seconds later, I tried to leave and she wouldn't let go, you know? And then she asked me, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I just remembered. I had plans with some friends." And she wanted to like follow me, and it was like super super weird. And I really didn't understand what was going on, to the point where it was almost like trying to get gum off of your shoe. And mind you, she was actually like super clingy, like we were the best of friends. And she's like, no, she was trying to invite herself along as well, and I was just making up excuse after excuse, to the point that eventually I quickly just grabbed my stuff and left. And as I exit the door, some guy stops me and he's just like, hey, are you friends with that girl? And I'm like, nope, I have no idea who she is. And she like really weirded me out. And then I asked like, what's going on? He's like, oh, she's having like a little bit of a breakdown. And when I look in the room, I see she's like pacing around, trying to like talk to people, but everyone's kind of just like shying away. So like everyone in that room knew what was going on, right? Uh, and then she randomly just like starts snapping at people because I think like I'm not sure what was going on or what was the story, but she was having like a full blown episode, and that's when I realized that there was a campus security guard standing by the door, making sure like she doesn't leave. But instead of actually doing anything, he's just like, yeah, let's just let her run around causing chaos in there while they wait for like the police and the ambulance to like show up. So yeah, that made me super super uncomfortable. And believe it or not, I did not go back to that common room for like I think at least a month or so. She was being like, "Hey, Ski, I will kidnap him." You never know. Edie was a wild time. I'm glad that it's over. Not even gonna question you why you said no. Okay, if a complete stranger just shows up and grabs your arm, you are not very likely to okay, I don't know about you. I do not like people in general. I'm not like a hater and rude or anything. It's just I'm like a cat, you know? I am a cat. If I don't know you, I'm immediately suspicious because you might be after my kidney and I can't tell. So, when in doubt, I just assume that a person does not have maybe the nicest of intentions. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't see that. What's even the question? Oh, she probably would have hated me. I don't know enough about them. I feel like this is too deep of a frown. But do any of you guys have like wild uni stories? Similar to you, could have been able, you're a great person, you should value yourself as such. True. But on the internet, can you ever truly know who a person is? Maybe they kick puppies in their spare time. Yeah, but I had no idea what was going on. So violence was not my first instinct. You should have faith in humanity. You can have faith in humanity and still be a bit cautious. I may not automatically assume everyone's a serial killer, but I don't ignore the possibility. Cause it'd really be dangerous out there. There's like a lot of yeah, there's a lot of crazy people out there. And you never know. Yeah, like Hay says, they could have had a sharpie pointy thing. But I'm the crazy out there. Well, so long as the crazy is out there and not in here, I don't mind. That is my rules, you know. Gotta be keep the chaos outside. This is a nice cozy place. I live in the US, yeah. I live in the UK, so I think I'm the one who's in danger of sharp pointy things. But so far never had an issue, so it's all good. I keep seeing a lot of memes about the London experience and there's just people getting stabbed. So I'm not sure if that's a joke or an actual concern I should have. Is there anyone here who's from? If you had two options, either go with dream one of slow steady life or one of adventure and excitement. Okay, I don't know what you would pick. I don't like excitement. I like calm, boring stuff. So I'm gonna go with option one. I'm perfectly happy being just calm, chill, you know? Depends. If you're writing a story, adventure and excitement. Okay, I messed up. Okay, there we are. I think we're done with the mouth. Our stream is a lot more calmer than I was expecting today. Sorry, just thinking if a book is really what I want. Understandable. Because you can tell a story. It doesn't have to be in a book per se. But if you're trying to make it into a game, could take longer and is probably a ton more work. But if it's something you're interested in, go for it. I don't even remember my sixth grade. I feel like my primary school and below or before was mostly just like a fever dream. But yeah, I think the model's coming along nicely. I love the blink. Oops. Did you know the just like this one simple blink is probably more complex than all of the models you see down here in terms of layers and physics? Yeah. Worth it though. Hmm. Okay, I think we can move on to. We can start rigging the face, yeah. Let's see. Hmm. Do we want to do the eyebrows first? Hmm. Did you know when I used to start rigging, I could never remember what each of these forms meant at the bottom here. So I had to take like a. I would take screenshots and be like, okay, when this goes down, it means deform like this. You know? I had to make entire cheat sheets simply because I just could not remember what anything was. But I think like with enough practice, you eventually get used to it to the point where it just becomes second nature. So these are not level. And when I think about rigging, I forgot what you said the first time I joined. Well, if you encounter problems, you can always just ask. Hi, Goldie. Welcome on in. I was wondering where our regular yappers were today. We were almost productive. Oh, oops. Just woke up? Ah. Well, hope you had a good night's sleep. Iris told me she can throw in a mascot too, so at least I got something to. So at least I got something from you to do someday. Ah, okay. I look forward to it. Mm. I had coffee today. I don't know why I'm sleepy. Try to remember, y'all. That sounds ominous. Okay, a little bit of an art lesson. Importance of eyebrows. Human beings, right, have evolved to be very expressive with their eyebrows, right? So you can tell a lot simply just by how it's shaped. Hold on. So, mouth frowning, eyebrows up, surprise could almost be disgust, right? But frowning, scrunched, upset, you know? Happy, up, excited. Happy, down, uncomfortable, trying to be like a, how do you say this? Trying to be like a, haha, yeah, of course, that's definitely a great idea. You should throw fireworks near the gas station, you know? That's a terrible idea. But that's the first thing that came to my mind, you know? Importance of eyebrows. No, I don't think it was like I'm reading the chat. Well, if you're going to bed, thanks for stopping by. Okay, what else can we do? Mm, this model's a little bit tricky because, like, the head is kind of tilted at an angle. So that kind of throws me off a little bit. But I have practice with my own model. Ooh, I think I have a new command. Hold on. We have this thing. Now we can learn all about cats. Yeah, for example, cats don't have sweat glands over their bodies like humans do. Instead, they sweat only through their paws. That's something you now know. Can you believe you're almost being productive all stream? And then the cat facts are mentioned. Sorry, not mentioned. I thought of them, and then yeah, that was it. It was over. I've been a little bit too productive lately. I don't think I like that. It disturbs the natural order of things. It does. Well, I have been hoping to play. I was thinking of games instead, Ryan. Then I can derail. Naked Gun has been getting good reviews. Wait, is it out yet? Derailing is always welcomed here. Right, so I just remembered movies. They have like not premieres, but secret not secret, but like screenings for like exclusive people, like maybe the actors and like close friends and family, that kind of stuff, or like VIPs, etc. So if they're saying it's good, hmm, and reviewers, right? I forgot they existed. I typically tend not to follow them, mostly because a lot of those reviews can be bought. So yeah, I never trust the reviews on whatever website it is. I only see what people are actually saying. You mostly get like the vibe when you see people talk about it on the internet. Okay, reviews. I'm seeing Rotten Tomatoes has 91%, right? Google users saying 86% liked this film. Hmm, it's a good sign. You know what? I need to know. Does this come out in cinemas where I am? Important question of the day. Mm, okay. Cinema. I need to see this. Okay. Tomorrow's showtimes. Because I believe it's first. Okay, yeah. It is out tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna go see this. How much are movie tickets here? You know what? It doesn't matter. I'll shell out the cost. Probably sell a kidney. But it's rated 15, which makes me think the humor is very, very tame. Hmm. Probably so. I feel like the craziest humor was what made it fun. Like super. I don't know how to say it. Okay, I want to see this. Continue as a guest. Okay. A little steep for a movie. Hmm. But it's okay. I'll treat myself. I remember when I was in Malaysia, like a movie ticket would cost like $3. That was the life. So I'm gonna get 3 hours, 300 hours on Cookie Clicker. I think at that point, ow. I think at that point, maybe an intervention is needed. Ow. Well, hello to you too. Welcome on in. What did I do? Why am I being bullied? What have I done? You know what I was thinking? You know the what is the charge meme? I thought of adding it as a sound alert. Ow. Some people have over 1K hours in Cookie Clicker. Okay. We're pausing the music. Ow. Think long and hard about what you want out of life. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? Ow. And think how far away they are. Right? And done with the bricks. Think how far they are and all of the work that is needed to achieve them. Maybe you need 10,000 hours to achieve that dream, right? Because that's usually how you become professional at a skill. It's about 10,000 hours. Now, if you put 1,000 of those hours, right? You said there's some people who have 1,000 hours. If you put 1,000 of those hours following your dreams, you'd be 10% of the way there. Think about it. So the music goes back on now. Cookie Clicker is my goal. Maybe you need new goals. There is no objection. We need to be productive. Life is too short to spend it clicking on cookies. I've been unmodded? Yeah. This is not news. Do you not read the Discord chat? Looks like the average Cookie Clicker player has 300 hours played. Okay, if you spent 300 hours learning to rig, you could make like your own models and really good ones. Because I think that's how long it took me to be pretty okay at it. No, no, sorry, I was talking to Kay. We have the mod chat on Discord. I was like, hey, we don't need mods on Twitch because the moderation is pretty automated. And I considered just leaving the tag there. So I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll just yoink them back. For now, my Twitch is pretty okay. You'll notice we've not had any of those bots in a while. I automated a lot of the security stuff. So yeah, your jobs have been replaced by AI. How does that make you feel? I'm holding the mic to you. Because I was talking about it, and Sella was like, so basically nothing changes. I'm like, yeah. Ow. I'll brick you? What did I do? I am innocent of all crimes. I have never done anything wrong ever in my life. You are not? Well, you have no proof. It's my ultimate move. It's called gaslighting. I love gaslighting people. Like, for fun. Is Stella modest still? No. Now, there can be no revolutions. There can be no uprising. I have yoinked the power from the people. And speaking of gas, oh hi Julian. Speaking of gaslighting, oh sorry. For a moment, I just thought I'm like, wait a minute. Did I let Wally back into my room? Has he been like sitting under? Has he been sitting outside the whole time? Union? There is no union. Is that me? Okay, first of all, it doesn't change anything. I have 40 cents in my name. I can't afford a brick. Well, people seem to throw a lot of them here, so you can just like pick them off the ground. It'll be fine. You can just have that. I'm willing to share. Like bricks are expensive, so I don't want to buy them. So I'm just gonna wait until everyone throws enough of them at me, and then from there, I'll just build a castle out of them because I want a castle. Ow. See, I'm one step closer, or in this case, one brick closer to building my dream home. Okay, I was confused for a bit. By the way, I didn't make the art for this model. I'm only rigging it. So sometimes I get a bit confused as to how the layers are separated because I wasn't the one who did it. Does the bell move on the model? It will. Right now I'm thinking about the physics for the hair. Drawing the model right now, law. Ah, okay. Co-working stream. Now we're all productive. Except me. What are your thoughts on changing that? I should go draw a rat? Yeah. What's stopping you? Rule one, never stick to your one design. True. Because I was thinking about making like a full body model for myself. And I was wondering if I wanted to keep this design. Like the hair, the cat ears, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, sure. That stays. I'm talking about like the outfit. So I'm like, hmm. Because I'm wearing like a robe that covers most of me. Whatever my outfit in the end looks like could have just been underneath this the whole time. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I was working on the full body models here, and it's reminding me that I really like it. Like there's a certain charm to how to say this. There's a certain charm to making like the complex models. Like the mascot ones are fun and all, but they're very quick and easy to do. But these ones, they're like a challenge, you know? What I can recommend is select 3 fashion styles and draw your model. Good idea. I have recently been getting a lot of reels on Instagram for clothes shops. And I don't mean like normal people clothes shop. I mean stuff like the shops that sell like fantasy cosplay outfits. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. Mixing Igari with Morike right now because why not? I don't know what either of those are, so I'm just gonna Google them. Okay, Igari is like the blush makeup. Oh, the outfits are cute. And who's gonna stop me? No one. Yeah, no one can dictate your fashion choices. If I want to wear Crocs and socks, no one is ever gonna stop me. It's a free world. In Poland, I already saw that. Yeah, I was making a joke. I didn't think people actually do that. Some people wear shorts in winter. Yeah, people be crazy. Okay, to be fair, okay, this is what happened today, right? I was just walking down the street. Now, I am a tropical cat. I come from the land of the sun, the blistering heat and death that comes with it. So, I am someone who is always prepared for a lot of sunlight and avoiding UV rays. So, before I go out, always the same. Long pants, sunblock on all exposed skin, sunglasses, and umbrella. Ow. And umbrella. So I'm basically like if you've ever seen Adventure Time, the way Marceline the vampire goes out during the day, just avoiding any trace of the sun. Yeah, that's how I am. And today I was just walking down the street with my umbrella. It's a sunny day, by the way. And then some old guy on a bike was passing by and he looked at me, he laughed. He's like, "It's not raining, guy." And then he just like zipped past. I smiled politely. thinking, none of the people here seem to understand the concept of sun damage. Because if you look at anyone here who's like aged 30, 40 and above, their skin, intense sun damage. Almost everyone here. Because that's the thing. My housemate was telling me people here never see the sun most of the year. So when it's the summertime, no one knows how to like handle it, and everyone gets sunburned because they're like, "Wow, I love the sun," and then they just go bake under it like a lobster. You know, it happens a lot with the tourists that show up in my home country. So every time you go to the beach and it's like a tourist there, they're like bright red. They're lobster red. I'm not even exaggerating. So yeah, I realize I stand out in the street because I'm probably the only person out there who's like concerned about the sun. Everyone else is basking in it as much as they can. I am just there like, I wish it were cloudy. I wish the sun would go away. I've had more sun than I can. Look, I've endured the sun for my entire life. I'm ready to take a break. I used to wear shorts in the summer. Yeah, same. Jeans all the way. I'm very pale. I get sunburned very easily. Yeah. Sunburn is no joke. It is, I think, the number one thing that ages you, like ages your skin and makes you look older. Okay. Do you want proof? I am someone I look a lot younger than I actually am, right? To the point that I was buying just medicine at the grocery store. I get ID checked. Me. It was just buying like paracetamol or whatever. You look a lot younger than you are? Yeah. Cuz I often get mistaken sometimes for either a student. Yeah. This happened a lot in Malaysia, right? Because in Malaysia, the only foreigners who are in quotes working are people who are like maybe what's it called? Maybe 40 plus, or maybe they have like married someone who's in the country and living there. And I look probably a bit too young for the latter part. So whenever anyone would see me, they'd always think I was a student. Like if I'm in an Uber or Grab, which is I think, Asian version of it, right? Whenever they're striking up conversations like, oh, so which university did you go to? What are you studying? I'm like, I work here. And then they pause and they're like, doing what? And then I give them my very technical title. And then you can literally see like them pausing the buffering logo above their forehead. And they're like, that can't be right. This is a baby. You age like fine wine. Yeah, when I'm like 40-ish, I'll probably look my age that I am now. So yeah. Mostly because I avoid the sun, you know, eat healthy, all that stuff. At least I try to. And most importantly, sunblock. Avoid the sun damage. You know what? We're bringing up the chart again. For those who don't believe me, this is a side by side comparison of what the sun does to your skin. For those of you who are like, oh yeah, yappy cat, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay. There was an article, right? Also, I don't know what's going on with Google, but I now see an option that says AI mode. I don't know what it is, but I hate it already. So yeah, sun damage on your skin ages you a lot, like this. So this is a picture of someone who is a truck driver, and while they drive, the sun is hitting only this half of their face, or at least mostly this half. So you can actually see like the part that's always exposed to the sun has aged a lot more. So You can just completely ignore that advice and you will age and be like, oh, this is just normal, this is me aging normally, it's a natural part of life. It is not. You can stop it. Use sunblock, avoid the sun when you can, right? Because sunblock doesn't actually block 100% of everything. You still get a little bit, which is why even if I have sunblock, putting a lot of it, SPF 50, right, I still have my umbrella, so I'm not directly under it. So yeah, sunblock also exists. Yeah. You know what else exists? Not going out in the sun during midday when it's super hot. You know what? Let's see this. Does sunblock block 100% of UV rays? Sunblock does not block 100% of UV rays. While sunscreen significantly reduces the amount of UV radiation that reaches your skin, it is not a perfect shield, according to the BBC and Skin Cancer Foundation. So, I think there's like a 15 minutes under the sun without protection, you're fine, but anything more than that and you start like taking damage. Only got it with my dogs. True. Even just a little bit does help a lot. So yeah, you might consider that. But hey, up to you. Maybe your intention is to look older. I don't know. Not gonna judge. I personally like my skin the way it is, so I intend to keep it. Okay, let's get rid of this. Everywhere I go to buy stuff, I am 18 plus. Uh, yeah, don't worry. I considered making it an 18 plus stream, but nah, we're a say so place. So long as people behave in a mature manner, you're welcome. Also, there are a lot of chats where officially they're like 18 plus, but they're like, there's no way of verifying this. So long as you're like cool and fly under the radar, people usually don't mind. If I ever made an 18 plus stream, I'm not entering it. I do have a collab planned, which is mostly it's we okay. The plan is this: we're gonna play Overcooked, and the goal is not to play the game. The goal is to see who can have like the funniest crash out, Gordon Ramsay style. So it's gonna be very like chaotic, angry, loud. I don't know if that is 18 plus. But in terms of lewdness, we don't do that here. There is nothing wrong with it. I have made not safe for work art for commissions before, so I personally don't mind it. It's just here on stream, no. It's just a personal choice. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just I would rather not. I love the blink. Also, I like when it's the eyes are slightly closed. Smug. Okay, I'm not crazy. This was a bit too low. I think that's better. I've been trying to find streamers who are not 18 plus because it feels wrong. I've seen some streamers talk about it. The reason they put it like 18 plus is not because they have a hatred towards people under 18. It's simply because they don't want to have to deal with moderating a shared space, because some people can be creepy and they don't want people to be creepy around children. So to avoid that headache, they're just like yeah, 18 plus, don't be here. I feel like if the channel gets like a lot bigger, maybe I'll change it, but for now, nah. I will make it known in advance. By the way, you got hit with the EU law, didn't you, for Discord? I have not noticed anything different simply because I don't usually go to not safe for work stuff. Oh yeah, the UK. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but the UK has I think internet safety law where they're like if you are below the age of 18, you have to like sorry, you need to prove that you are 18 plus for anything that requires you to be 18 plus. Like for example, if you're in a Discord and someone marks that Discord as, oh, this is an 18 plus place, you can't just check a box that says I am 18 plus, trust me, bro. They instead want you to like show proof, take a picture, show some ID, etc. So yeah. Now, I've not been affected by that simply because I don't need it. They are okay, I'm in a few servers where they have like not safe for work art and I enjoy the occasional tasteful piece of art. But I click on it, it says, "Oh, you have to verify." I'm like, "No, thank you," and I just click away. This is mostly on Feather's channel. It's pretty creepy stuff. Yeah, okay, put it this way. In a perfect world, no one would ever use that information maliciously, right? Data breaches and data leaks are a very common thing, which is why even if something is like, oh, this data is not shown to like anyone, I avoid putting like the name of, my IRL name on a lot of platforms simply because it can very easily be leaked. As you're done, welcome back. Yeah. We're talking about for those who are hidden by the ads, we're talking about verification. If any of you are familiar, the UK passed the internet safety law. The only IRL name I put is on Roblox. Yeah, reserve it for the important things. I think the only thing I put mine on is I think my PayPal and my Wise account, because those are things that handle money, and in case of anything, I need to very quickly and reliably prove that I am who I say I am. If that makes sense. Oh right, I was doing hair. I verified for voice chat, that's it. But apparently they now give it away. With verification, it's already creepy enough. Understandable. Yeah, I do you know what I. It's not even useful because so many people have been cheating the system by scanning fake faces. I saw a meme where someone was like, "Oh, they used the characters from Death Stranding to pass the what's it called? to bypass the verification. Yeah, let me see if I can find the picture. Hold on. Law Death Stranding. UK Law Death Stranding. Yeah, we're just gonna type in the keywords and hope for the best. Okay, I see it here. Just gonna screenshot this. Let's move to Paint. This thing. Yeah. UK's internet age verification is being bypassed by Death Stranding. Yeah, they would scan just like the character's face in the game. But if someone uses Arthur Morgan from Art, okay, if it is realistic enough and the computer thinks it's a real human being, it'll work, right? That's the crazy part. Because again, I think it's typically like AI that kind of judges, is this a real person? Anything that looks realistic enough, like, yeah, I think it would work. They might do the same thing in the US. Okay, I think I don't know about the US simply because too many people there would be far too willing to riot over it. I think here in the UK, people just signed a petition and the government just gave them the middle finger, saying we can do what we want, we don't care. In the US, the moment anyone says anything like we're gonna try taking pictures of your faces, everyone will be like, oh my god, it is 1984, they're trying to implement Big Brother and then they're gonna start rioting in the streets. And the thing about Americans rioting in the street is most of them have guns, so yeah. They tried to do that a few years ago in the US, it failed. Exactly. Because even how would you say this, the idea of like freedom and just being your own self is like super ingrained in like American culture, where I don't think anything that even could hint at taking away even a little bit of that would ever be tolerated, you know. This is what I imagine, like, as someone who's not American and from the outside looking in. So I really doubt the US would probably find a way to do that only if people aren't aware of it. They would probably secretly pass a law that says, okay, you all the photos we have of like driver's license and ID and stuff like that, uh, we'll be using that for some database. If people are not really aware of it or vaguely aware of it, no one would care. But if you actually ask them like directly to their face, hey, we need to take a picture of you. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly. We aren't even the most free country, by the way. True. But it's not important what you actually are. It's what's important is what people believe when it comes to getting them to do things. L6 feels like Wally. Do you mean like the robot movie or my cat? Country with the most debt, though, true. But one thing you need to consider is there's also a lot more people. Like the size of the US is, I think, almost the size of the entire Europe. So you can't just compare US with one European country because those ones tend to be kind of tiny. You know what? Let's check this. Population of US. Okay, population of the US is 350 million, give or take. Okay, population of Europe. The population of Europe is approximately 750 million. Okay. So half of all of Europe is about like the population size of just one USA. So I don't think it's a real fair comparison. Like for example, you could make the argument of you're like, okay, this is made up numbers, right? Just for example, like oh, the US creates like 1 million tons of garbage, whereas my country only creates 100,000, like 10% of that. Wow, this place very messy. They create a lot of trash. But you'll realize that maybe the population is like 10 times larger and the amount of trash per person is the same. It's just on a larger scale. So comparison is a bit tricky. You really need to like decide, is this a proper and accurate comparison, or is it just numbers shuffled around to make something seem worse than it actually is, you know? If Canada and Mexico became one of the US, would be bigger than Russia. Yeah, because like North America is massive. Hmm. People are selling authentic New York garbage for $50. You know what? Let me not make fun of brands. Sometimes the jokes that pop into my head, maybe I shouldn't just say them out loud. Who knows? I could get sued for defamation. Probably not, but some people are very passionate about their brands. So let's not go there. They call it art. Okay. Is it one of those pieces of art where they like collect garbage and glue it to like a piece of wood or like a frame and then they sell it? Is one of those pieces? No, it's in a plastic baggie. Okay, that is crazy. People would buy anything these days. I'm kind of hungry. I do have snacks that are within arm's reach. I have this for emergencies. I have this giant packet of like buffalo wing flavored peanuts, and it's a big bag. It's like I think the total is like 1,000 calories in there. So that's like half your nutritional, sorry, not nutritional, caloric needs for the day. It's about time I go to sleep. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you next time, which is tomorrow. Same time, same place. Sounds nice. Oh, yeah, it's really good. The only problem is it has a lot of calories, which means you can only eat like a little bit. Because that's the thing about nuts, right? And most kind of nuts, right? Peanuts, cashews, you name it, right? Case I don't see you. Good evening, good night, good morning. Yeah, happy time zone is what I hear some people say. And thanks for stopping by. But right, back to nuts. They are really good, very small, but they contain a lot of calories. So if you eat more than like a handful, and weight gain is like a concern of yours, that's like a that's something you should watch out for. Because you'll be eating it and not feel full, but you're consuming like a huge amount of calories. So yeah, gotta be careful, you know. I always have to like rip the bag from myself. I'd eat like a little bit and then I'll go for a little bit more and then a little bit more and I'm like, no, I have to stop. And then I seal it up with this little I have like those clothes pegs, you know. I roll up the bag, pin it shut so it remains fresh. And then I put it like out of arm's reach so if I need to get it, I have to like stand up. Yeah, this seems to be working out so far. You know, I'm doing this and I'm thinking, man, I really missed full body models. Especially now that I have all of the knowledge that I do. Like my powers have doubled. No, quadrupled from the last time I did a full body model. So it's nice to go all in. Then again, it's not something you eat on a daily basis. True. I mean, you can eat it on a daily basis so long as it's just like a little bit each day. But each day is a bit of like a accumulation. Okay, if you eat like a few of them, you'll only be consuming like 100 calories. That will not kill you. And the nutritional benefits, you know, all the minerals, vitamins, everything that's inside is probably a lot better for you than saving in quotes that 100 calories, which you can very easily reduce from somewhere else. Oh, the model is coming to life slowly. Yeah. So I hate that they're separated. I'll fix that later. It's a very big chunk of hair, but it's okay. Don't need to modify it. Yeah, see, this is the beauty of live 2D rigging is you can just you're slowly animating it piece by piece. Next thing you know, it'll be a fully usable model. It's just so cool to see. Thank you. I do love the process as well. It's a little bit like a puzzle, you know? You just have to figure out how things work together. Yeah. Ta-da. Okay, let me fix the ears real quick. Well, fix is a strong word. Adjust. Because I'm not even changing it. I'm just combining the two layers into one so that it becomes easier to rig. This is one of the simpler full body commissions. But for practice, I think I'm doing a little bit more than I was commissioned for, you know, just to get back into the game, you know. Because like if you split a model's ears into like pieces, you can make the rigging a lot nicer, but it's also like a ton more work. Like you can look at mine. You see, I have three layers. There's the purple piece, the fluff in the middle, and then the pinkish part at the back. If you see them shuffle over each other, you'll notice they're like three different pieces. It's a bit hard to tell if you're not familiar with like how they're separated, but yeah. Okay, where was I? Okay, this will only take a second. Ow. What was that for? Ooh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Okay, in Live 2D, I'll show you why I was confused. This ear is considered the right ear. Why? Because it's the model's right, not my right. Follow? So yeah, sometimes you'll see people label this as the left ear because they're like, it is my left. So this is the left ear. But usually what I do is the way it's rigged is this is the considered the right side, whereas this is the left side. So I was a bit confused when I was toggling off the model. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Does this have the ear? Or the earring, sorry? Yeah, it does. Sorry, I'm just yapping to myself. I'm almost done. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. And there we are. I do need to just shove this into where the original ears are. There we are. Perfect. See, that wasn't so bad. Hi, Hot Shack. Welcome on in. We had a very productive day, which means a lot less yapping than usual. You know what? Maybe I'll try and make an effort to have more games on stream. Ones that are interesting to watch, but not so much that I get distracted and forget to yap. Should have some yapping moments. Yeah, I think I show up to stream mostly for the yapping. That's what I enjoy. So this is hair. God, that's beautiful. It'll be even better once I have the up and down physics. I'm sorry, I was mesmerized. Um, ear sway. It's amazing, damn. Thank you. I've not rigged a full body in a while. Like, okay, the steps of making it are basically the same for making a mascot. The only difference is it's just more. Like, for example, a mascot, I'll make the bouncy physics just for the entire thing. It's like one ball, so it's one thing that's jiggly. Whereas for this bottle, I'll be like, okay, the eye has jiggly physics. This other eye has jiggly. The pupil will have a jiggly physics. The entire eye, then like the hair, each individual piece has its own physics, right? So it's basically just doing the same thing I would be doing with the mascots, just a lot more of them controlling small individual pieces rather than just one giant piece as a whole. Oops. Ta-da. Could be a bit more jiggly. Also, ignore the fact that the earrings aren't attached yet. I will be getting to that. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Mm, okay, let's see if that worked. Yeah. See? Earring attached. Hmm. Ta-da. I love the jiggly physics parts of rigging, you know? I know there's some people who just really don't like it, but I have to say, it is one of my favorites. Although I'm seeing a problem here. I can fix it. Hmm. Lurgoing EPs have a great stream. Well, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night's rest. Yeah, we've been very productive today. I'm feeling EP, but it's okay. I think it'll keep going on for a while. What else can we do? Because I think we want to do the physics first. I want to make everything swish and jiggle first before I start making it move like left and right. Because that's usually my preference. Anyway, we finally have an art stream and not just a yapping one for a change. How does the change in experience make you guys feel? What on earth? Yeah, an actual one? See, this is what happens when I need to actually like lock in and focus on doing the art. Something's not right here. Hmm. Oh, I think they messed up the art a little bit. Not to worry. It's a quick fix. Hmm. I love the art and the design of it. I think it was pretty well done. Although the cutting up could use a bit more work. But overall, I still think it's a good job. Because I'm used to how do you say this? In the past, whenever I'd receive what's it called? Models that are cut up and ready for rigging, they're actually not. Like the art is beautiful, but it's not really separated for live 2D. This one was pretty good. I think I did make some changes here and there, but they were minimal. Like for example, I'll even show you how quick it is. When I say like needs a simple fix, it's as simple as this. Hold on. Ignore the ignore that. And I hope it doesn't give you nightmares. Oh my. Yeah, sir. I needed to adjust the teeth and I temporarily hid the skin layer. So you end up with some Five Nights at Freddy looking abomination. Anyway, mm, I need the neck. Here we are. Yeah, I don't need the rest of the body. I just need this. So separate layer for the teeth. Oh yeah, hold on. I posted my VOD just today. Let me show you the thumbnail because the thumbnail is it shows you how things are separated. So yeah. Hello, welcome on in. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, this is the thumbnail I made for last stream's VOD. And what was the title? Crap, I forgot the title. Let me look for the title. What did I call it again? I forgot. Yeah, I named it Is Your Art Ready to Rig or Haphazardly Chopped Up? Right? And this is the thumbnail, and it shows like this is the separation of the mouth, right? Because you see, we have the upper teeth, we have the fangs on the upper teeth, we have the inside of the mouth. This is the molars, the teeth at the back of your mouth, the lower teeth, the lower fangs, and the tongue. Let me show you what this looks like when it's not separated. So this is the model. It's the mouth. So yeah, it's like a whole bunch of stuff in there. Let me hide the lips. So a bunch of stuff in there like this, and you simply just move it up and down, right? So if the mouth opens, he looks up, you know, like that. And then there's the whole skin layer and all that stuff. So, for example, mm, say we're opening the mouth. You can click upper lip, upper skin, fangs, upper teeth. These ones go up, and this one goes down like that. And then maybe you'll see the teeth like that, and maybe the tongue as well in the inside. So you just shift it around like that. I hope you don't mind like it's all a bit janky because I'm not deforming anything. I'm only making it move up and down, kind of like a South Park Canadian. But yeah, that's the important of separating it. I mean, okay, the less separated it is, the less flexible the rigging is, you know? Because theoretically, if it's kind of one piece, you know, you can kind of get away with it. The quality drops drastically, but it's doable. You'll live. Now, I don't want good enough. I take a lot of pride in my work, right? So I separate it as best as I can. Sometimes I separate it more than I need, simply just so I have the option of I can adjust this while rigging if I need to. Like for example, I'm not sure if I want the lower fangs in the teeth, but I added them anyway so that if I decide it's not working out, I can just easily delete them. So yeah. I was about to close the art app, then I remembered, wait, I came here with a job to do. So has anyone been inspired to start rigging their own stuff? It's really fun, I promise. I've only cried a few several times, but the model in the end, totally worth it. It's fun when you learn. Yeah, honestly, that's what I enjoy. Because, like, the more I rig, the more I discover, like, new techniques and, like, how to make it nicer. Anyway, we're already done fixing it. Like I said, we just needed to adjust that little bit. Yeah, touch more thicker. There. All done. Now we just take this and drop it in. You can't see the menu, but I say this thing, replace the model, and yep, it's already replaced the neck. But it looks a bit weird though. You know what? We're going back. I think I need to blur the edges so that it blends like a bit more perfectly. Okay, what is the issue? Let's check again. Too bright. Okay. Like this, I think I can just erase. Actually, no. Yeah, this looks so good. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Wait, let me show off a little bit. Look, look, look. It can blink. It came out really beautifully. So I want to show it off. Oh, and Cole, you're new here. Do you see my model? Do you see the dice? Look at it. It can jiggle. It's 3D. Well, it's 2D and it's just folded up. So it is 3D, kind of like origami. Uh-huh. See it? Hold on, sorry. This is show off stream now. And the coolest thing about it is this. If you go in the redeems, there's an option that says roll dice. And look, you can roll it, roll it, roll it. And gives you a random number. And if you roll a nat 1 or you roll a 1, the lowest number, it blows everyone up. This is probably the best thing I've ever rigged. And it is the one thing I will shamelessly show off every single time we have new people pop in. Other than that, I can promise you, I'm very humble cat. Okay, we have the hair jiggle. It's a bit much. If you violently shake your head, sure. But one thing to consider when it comes to rigging is when I shake it violently, I'm like, okay, this looks a bit too much. But then most people don't violently shake their head like this throughout stream. So I always have to do it a bit gently. I'm like, okay, this seems natural, so it's all good. Wait, I was doing something. Okay, I think this is pretty ready. Now let's pop that into live 2D. Pop that into live 2D. Replace model. And ta-da. Fixed. I think because the bell was in the way, I don't think the artist realized that they forgot to clean that part up. But it's all good. Okay, where was I? The bell jiggles. Oh, hi, Julian. My cat is here. Ooh, lately what I've been doing is in the morning, I'd always let my cat Wally, the adventurous boy cat, outside of the house because he loves to go on adventures, right? He loves to run around in the yard and jump at things and explore and sneak out and go to my neighbor's yard and then get scared and hide there. So, what I do is in the mornings, uh, I'd open my room door, go downstairs, open the door to the garden, and he immediately bolts. He runs out and he starts frolicking and in having the time of his life. And then I just leave him. He does leave the garden. He goes around the neighborhood, but that's fine because he knows his way back now. So what I've been doing is I let him out, and then like in the afternoon, maybe early evening, I come and I take him back and I put him in my room. He's had his adventure. Now it's time to nap and rest. Julia, on the other hand, my room door is open. She does not exit. She only wants to go wherever I am. If I'm in my room, she has no interest in leaving. So yeah, but the thing is, I noticed whenever Wally's not around, her mood like just skyrockets. It improves a lot. She's more affectionate. She meows a lot more. Like the hate is real. There was one time I was sitting and she's on my lap. She's purring. She's having the time of her life. I'm petting her. And then in walks in Wally. Do you know what happens? Immediately the purring just stops. Like someone put the handbrakes. So yeah, that's when I realized like, oh, she really does not like him. Like he didn't even do anything, didn't even look at her, and he was across the room. Just the sight of him, immediately all her joy just died. I'm like, wow, she's a hater for real. In her defense, Wally is kind of annoying to her. So can you really blame her? Julian, yeah, my baby. She's like the elegant regal cat. She's like she has strong princess behavior. Like refuses to get dirty, refuses to mingle with the commoners, which is Wally. You know, likes being pampered, doesn't do much. She likes to just sit there and be pretty. That's Julian. Wally's the kind who he loves running around, just complete chaos, jumping at random things, uh playing with other cat. I say playing, but he usually just attacks them. Right? He's so full of energy. Like I get tired long before he does. Julian's just roaming around. Yeah, I get tired long before he does. Like humans are endurance animals. Why is this cat not getting tired before I am? So yeah, like if I play with him and stuff, like I get exhausted and he still wants to keep going. So yeah, at least now that whenever I open the door and he runs around, he burns all of his energy. And yeah, except for today, I had to keep him inside because there was a thunderstorm warning. And the last thing I wanted was for him to be outside and then like thunder strike. Sorry, not thunder. He's not gonna get struck by lightning. What I mean is he'll be outside when the thunderstorm passes, and then suddenly he gets drenched in the rain, and then he gets sick, and that's not good. He's my baby. I have to take care of him. So yeah, I mostly kept him inside. He was in the living room. I let him out for a couple hours, but then brought him back in early. I didn't take him back to my room. I just left him in the living room, closed the doors and everything. And then this evening, I go to check on him. I don't see him. And then suddenly he appears in front of the glass door to the garden, and he's on the outside. I have no idea how he got out. Right? All the windows and everything is sealed. Maybe someone opened the door, he got out, and then they closed it without realizing. Either that or he is magic. Oh, this cat? I used to think he was an idiot. That may not be true, because this morning I wake up to the sound of him meowing and like the sound of like a door. Do you know what I wake up? I look off the side of my bed. Do you know what I see? I see this cat hanging off the ground. He's on the door handle, pulling it down, and my room was not locked. So he actually managed to open the door kind of like halfway. So if he potted it a bit more, he could have opened the door and immediately gotten out. And I'm just thinking, this cat has understood that doorknobs are how you open doors. And I used to think he was like a complete moron and kind of understand basic concept, but I could have been wrong. Now Julian also understands doorknobs, but like I said, she's a very princessy cat. So instead of like jumping and opening the door, if she wants to go through, what she does is she sits at the door and then she just looks up and she stares at the doorknob and she waits for one of her servants to open the door for her. So that's, I'd say, is the difference between the two. But yeah, the fact that I let Wally out of the room, he runs around in the garden or stays in the living room. Julian has really been loving having this place to herself. Ever have like annoying siblings, or maybe you live with housemates and then like you have the house to yourself? It's such a refreshing feeling. Yeah, that's what she is going through. It's great. Yeah, I love that feeling. People are nice and all that stuff. I love living alone. I I've lived with people, I've lived by myself. There are pros and cons to both. I won't just be like yeah, for everyone else living alone is awesome, right? But I think the joy I have of not living with other people far outweighs the benefits, in my opinion. It's great when you're home alone. Yeah. For like a year or so, I had a whole apartment to myself. Like I was working and I was renting a place to myself. It was my castle. I loved it. And it was very spacious too. And cheap. Like my for context, right? Cuz you mentioned being in Southeast Asia, right? Uh, One bedroom apartment, not a studio. There's a difference. One bedroom apartment, which is like larger, has like actual separated rooms, not just one square with a bed and kitchen in the same place, right? So nice apartment, 32nd floor, massive view, beautiful place, condominium with like the gym, the pool, everything like that. I would pay about my rent was 1,400 ringgit. So that's like 300 ish dollars a month. So whenever you hear places like whenever you hear things like maybe Malaysia's cheap or this country living costs are very low. Yeah, that's an example. Like my just my rent alone here is more than my total living expenses when I was in Malaysia. I think that's one of the things I miss, like living as an artist in a place like Malaysia, because like cost of living is very low. You're earning USD and spending ringgit. Like you really max out your profitability. Because even if you earn what is considered a very low amount in maybe a first world country, you were actually making a really good amount of money while living in a country with like low cost. Like for example, I worked a corpo job. I was making more doing art commissions than I did working at that company, right? So I was really, really having the time of my life. And since I was doing both, I was earning basically double salary. Those are good times. You know what? Maybe I should get a job here. That way, that way I can have like money to just throw at whatever I want. For example, like stream things. I wouldn't have to draw and commission everything. I could just throw money. I'd be like, I want this thing. I'm just gonna commission people. But right now, I'm a very frugal person, and since I'm a full time artist in a first world country, I am trying to be a bit frugal, more than usual. So yeah, I considered it. I looked for a while when I first got here, but then I'm like, I want to catch up on some of my models before I continue doing that search. So yeah, ads are done. Yeah, welcome back. I think we did good progress today. Hmm, I could animate the hair bouncing up and down, or we could go for booba. Hmm. Although my voice is getting a little bit tired, so maybe call it a day here. So let's see. Do we know anyone who is streaming? Naja is on. Hold on. Yeah, they're streaming Final Fantasy. So, well, thanks for stopping by, everyone. And I hope you had a great time. I know I did. We're going to be raiding into Neo Naja. A great person. They're streaming. I think they're streaming Final Fantasy. Yeah, I considered getting into it, but I saw like there was a bit of drama in the modding scene. But if you just play the game normally and avoid them, then yeah, apparently it should be fine. Maybe that's what I can get into. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. Bye bye. Can't wait for you to see my reference sheet soon. Yeah, feel free to share it in the art channel. By the way, even if it's not art that you created, you can just be like, "This is art made by so and so." You know, credit the artist, and is all good. Have a great evening. Thank you. You too. Anyway, bye bye, guys. Take care of yourselves, and hope to see you tomorrow. That's when I'm streaming next. So yeah, bye bye.